Guys, Coach Gaglione here, and today I want to talk about just a really quick bodybuilding finisher you could do. This is going to be a good movement that you could do for your arms and even parts of your upper back. So it's going to be really good at the end of an upper body session if you're a power lifter or if you're just looking to gain some size on your arms and around your shoulders and back. So here I have a high cable attachment. You can do this from a high anchor point with bands, a cable, some sort of machine, but any type of high anchor point is going to be effective. I have the spreader bar here. The other thing that you could utilize potentially is something like some triceps ropes or something like that. So I'll go through a couple here. So some of you guys might have access to something like a long 1 or 2 triceps ropes, but you want something that's going to kind of spread apart, especially when you're doing a lot of arm movements. When we're utilizing exercises like tricep extensions and biceps curls, you're going to have a natural, what we call a carrying angle here. So something like this, spreader bar or Prime Fitness makes a good one. Something that kind of converges and diverges, so it's going to be more accommodating to the body, or just utilizing some long ropes or multiple ropes is just kind of a good idea, and that's something that will be helpful for this particular circuit. So this is a great exercise that you could do again at the end of a workout for higher repetitions, or you can kind of just do like one all-out set to failure. Or if you wanted to utilize some of these for less overall volume, less overall weight, you could also use this kind of a pre-exhaust or like a warm-up as well. So I'll go through one round with and without these ropes. And what we want to try to do is think about whatever muscle we're doing. So if I'm doing the tricep extension, I want to think about what is the joint action that is going to work that tricep. So that's going to be primarily elbow extension. So I want to get a good stretch here, and I want to get a full contraction. And what's nice about these handles, when your tricep is fully shortened, your shoulder is also in extension. So that's going to allow you, if you have a straight bar, it's going to allow you to kind of get that full extension. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. I'm going to try to line it up the best I can with my body. So I like to start about here, kind of pin my elbows on my sides, and I'm going to push down and then spread apart. And you almost want to think about not just driving down, but also back. And you'll see that I get a full shortened position of the tricep. As you get a little more fatigued, if you feel like you need to kind of lean into it a little bit more, get a little bit of your body weight into it to balance, that's okay, but I'd like to start off as upright as possible and do these nice and strict. So that's the tricep extension with the spreader bar. You can also do these overhead, and that's going to go from more of a lengthened position of the tricep, so I'll kind of show that as well. So we're just going to go through all the different movements here. So I'm going to let my elbows come back. So that's going to give me more of a stretch at the top. And the regular push down is going to work more of the shortened position. So typically you're going to be a little bit weaker on the overhead work, so you might want to start off with that. But those are 2 movements that you could do to kind of finish off your upper body session specifically for triceps. Now we're going to move into a bicep curl. So from a high anchor point, it might seem a little bit awkward to do biceps with this, but it's actually really nice because if I keep my elbows nice and high, I can kind of work more of that fully contracted position and do a curl with like kind of the arms kind of to the forehead or even overhead. So I'm going to kind of walk back a little bit here, and I like to stagger my feet, keep my elbows high, and I'm going to think about turning my palm up and kind of leading with my pinkies. I can fully stretch here, or I can rotate as I go through the motion, so whatever's comfortable for you. So with this bar, I can come here, and I can just stay here the whole time. And again, I'm keeping my elbows high to get more of that shortened position. Or I can kind of go from here, and kind of rotate through like that. As I fatigue, I can bring my elbows down and just kind of work more of a mid-range position to kind of burn out And if you have the room, depending on what you're doing this, if you're doing this with a band, it won't work as well. But one thing I like to do as well, to make it really strict, is also do these curls on the floor. And I can go more of a normal mid-range position here. And what's nice about this is it keeps my back completely straight, so I can't lean forward and lean back and cheat. So it makes it a really nice strict curl. So if you don't have like a low cable attachment, this is a good substitution. And I can also, again, do these also to behind the head as well. So I can do both versions, but if I'm just doing a standard curl, this works really well. And it's a good substitute for like a low anchor point if you don't have access to that. And then the last movement we're going to do is just for the upper back. And what's nice about this series is that all the exercises kind of utilize a similar amount of weight. So I can go through a couple of different versions of like a rear delt or face pull variation. I'm going to let my shoulder blades come forward and apart. And then I'm going to squeeze. So I'm trying to wrap around like this. I can kind of come from different angles, so as I fatigue, I can kind of pull a little bit lower and make it more of like an elbows out kind of row. That'll make it a little easier as I fatigue. And if my kind of rear delts are starting to burn out and I want to work my lats, I can do shoulder extension here, which would be like a pullover motion. This is a really good stretch for the lat. And then I kind of contract and come through here. And as I fatigue still, I can make this a compound motion. And I can kind of do pull downs from here, or more of a lat emphasis pull down and pull through here. So this is kind of like a J pull down. So I'm thinking about kind of leading with my elbow. So I can take one knee to balance or just do these kneeling. So I'm just kind of burning on my lats here. If I want to diase my upper back a little bit more, I can keep my elbows out, or I can keep my grip parallel here. And if I wanted to still keep going, I could also kind of finish off with rows on my back, starting with my elbows out. And as I get tired, I can bring my elbows in, just like so. So just to recap again, so I just kind of worked out my whole upper body, essentially. My arms and my back with just one piece of equipment in one spot, which makes it very time efficient and very convenient. So again, if you don't have the spreader bar, you could use a longer rope. So I'm just going to kind of go through the series really fast. So we went through the triceps, the biceps, and the back. So it makes it a really great finisher. So again, we're going to start off here with our tricep extension. So we're going to do 2 tricep exercises. So I can do an 8 to 12 here. Then I can go, that's the overhead extension. I can go 8 to 12 press push down. And notice how I'm extending back. Then I can go 8 to 12 curls overhead. Regular curl. This is more of the mid-range position. I could also, with the rope, I could also do a hammer grip as I fatigue, so I can even go into a hammer grip there. So I can go regular curl. And what's cool about these ropes and biceps boards, one of the functions of the bicep is supination. So this is actually pulling me into a pronated grip. So I'm working a different function of the bicep with that rope. Now I'm going to go into the rear delt exercises. With these, I can go hands-free, or I can hold the nubs just like so. So I'm going to line up my rear delts a little bit, like this. As I fatigue, I can let my elbows bend a little bit more, make it a row. And then I can go into my shoulder extension. So the limb going through. Now I'm going to go into the pull downs. So I'm doing the J pull down. So I'm getting a really big stretch in my lat. And a good contraction, getting a little tired. So I'm going to go into a high row. With my elbows out. And then I'll finish off with a low row, pinning my elbows to the floor. And again, what's nice about this is I can't cheat and I can't jerk the motion because the floor is supporting my back. So that's a really cool, all-encompassing bodybuilding finisher. All you need is a cable. This is something you can hook up to a power rack at home, or you can use a high cable point. But you really just need one implement, and we've seen a whole array of exercises. It's a complete workout for your upper body, so that's a really great bodybuilding circuit, bodybuilding finisher to finish up your upper body day. If you want big arms and a big back. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please check out the links below. Please subscribe if you like the video, if you want to support our program. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.